Good morning, YouTube family. Martinez Country Home here. Today's January the 23rd, 2022. So, guys, what I'm going to talk about right off the bat is the the ongoing food shortage. Um, there's a lot of reasons for these supply shortages nationwide. It's not in any one place. It took a while for those shortages to get here to my town, even though in the past year, like say 6 months to a year, every once in a while you might see like it was almost not noticeable. There was not really anything you could say we're short of one thing or another, one item. But in the past, I want to say the past month or so, these shortages have become like unmistakable. uh so yesterday I went to the grocery store, and it was probably the worst that I've seen. Um whereas a couple of weeks ago, I had made a video about how there was no pasta, very short on pasta, very short, actually, really no potato products like French fries, tater tots, what do you call those? Hash browns, things like that. Uh, the freezers were empty, or the refrigerated uh, cabinets or whatever, where the fridges where they keep those items, and that's pretty much everywhere. Now, this time when I went yesterday, um, there was a little bit of like fries. There was a little bit of fries. The pasta looked kind of okay, but the rest of the store was really hit, like really low. And of course, it was a Saturday evening. People do tend to do their shopping on Saturdays, but I've never seen it like that. I've never seen the what I noticed was canned items that people usually don't get. Uh, like mixed vegetables, green beans were pretty much gone. Um, and the thing that surprised me a lot was the tuna. Usually tuna, no matter what, there's always a lot of tuna. Uh, this time, a lot of the meat products were gone. Tuna was pretty much, I won't say completely empty, but it was pretty empty. It was more than half empty. Uh, Chunky soups, which we get uh, for the protein and stuff, so that we can make with rice, things like that. Those were they were there, but the variety, the different kinds were very limited. And another thing was the canned chicken breast, the HEB, which is the store, the grocery store. Uh, the HEB brand chicken breast, canned chicken breast, 10 ounces was were very little. Um, the spam luncheon meats, those were pretty much gone. Uh, Meat, I'm not gonna say it was short. Meat was there, pretty regular, but it just looked in general, the store looked a lot more emptier as far as food goes. I'm not talking about toilet paper. I actually, guys, I didn't even go through that aisle. I don't need it. Not saying that it's not good to stock up on it, but at this time, I don't need to do that. Um, I was more going for the groceries. And to be honest, I really didn't go. I didn't really go to do a big shopping trip. I was just gonna get a few of the basics, right, like milk and some bread, some fruit that my wife had, little list that she had sent me. Some fresh produce. But I ended up leaving with a lot more, a lot more. Which is that's the way it always happens, guys. I always end up doing that. But um, so to tie in these things, to all these dots that I'm gonna bring up to you, in Ukraine, Russia has pretty much, their military has pretty much encircled the whole country, not only along their borders, but the border with Belarus. I believe they have some troops in what's that name of that country? It's a real small country. I don't want to say it wrong. Monclovia, maybe Monclovia. There's so many there down there in the Balkans. They changed so many names. Uh, they have troops in the Crimea. They pretty much encircled the Ukraine. Only place really that the Ukraine is not. Uh, they don't have anybody, you know, that at least not that's being reported is in the west. But the northwest they do have troops in Belarus, which is where Belarus is located. So what I'm getting at, guys, is if a war kicks off and United States by because they're supposedly allied with they have a lot of interest in the Ukraine. If they jump in there, excuse me, and this war goes hot, uh, it might give the government a reason to implement um, maybe rationing. There might be shortages, even worse. So the reason I brought up the Ukraine is because because when anytime there's a war like that, especially the way it's looking like that, it might get pretty big. Um, Food rationing might happen. Um, Also, I want to give a shout out to Cat Owens from Idaho. She sent me a link, a Twitter from Twitter. Uh, DC what is it? DC Homeland Security emergency something. They send out uh, they send out a tweet telling people when they go grocery shopping just to get what they need, not to there's no um, that there is a supply chain problems, but there's enough for everybody to get to get their just get what they need. Basically, what it's saying, telling people not to you know basically not to get more than they need to. And the way I took that is that rationing might happen. Anybody out there in the DC area or Virginia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, um, if y'all have heard anything, please let me know in the comments. Also, guys, I will be leaving relevant links in the description so y'all can read it for yourselves. And if y'all have anything to share, please put it in the description as well. Please share links if y'all know about anything. Um, so also, there was a story that came out that in 8 states, and I don't have the states right offhand, but in 8 states they will be allowing people to use their SNAP benefits to eat out at restaurants. Restaurants will be accepting SNAP benefits, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's the EBT card. I think where these benefits are placed. So um, that doesn't sound good to me. Although there is people that probably they can buy groceries, they will be able to buy groceries, but they don't have nowhere to cook them. So that might benefit them. I'm just I'm not saying that it's wrong, or that it's not a good idea. I'm just saying that um, everything that, to me, I'm very jaded with the powers that be, with the authorities, whatever you want to call them. Whatever they do is never for our benefit, guys. And if part of their agenda benefits us, that to them it's just okay. It's not because they meant it to benefit us. Um, that's just these people are so corrupt, and everything is so against the people that I just look at everything in a negative light. Uh, so yeah, so guys, there's a lot. Like I said, I'm looking with my own eyes. The products, how much is stocked up, the shortages. Now, I had a friend of mine here in San Antonio. She lives out there in the Northeast area. Um, and in the Cibolo area, and she was telling me that the HEB up there, the grocery store, everything was stocked up pretty good. Everything looked normal, nothing out of the ordinary. They were fully stocked up. Um, Now a friend of mine also, Cat up there from Idaho. She told me when she went to the, I forgot what the name of what the store was that she went up there, and that store was, she said that it was stocked to the gills. I mean, there was no shortages, everything was there. They even had sales for some of the products. She sent me a couple of pictures of uh, the crackers. What is it, Nabisco or something? They were, I mean, they were on sale for a box. She said normally they're like three something. This time they were like $1.33 or something like that. But I think uh, like I said before, some stores will be juggling their inventory so that no store goes um, empty for too long. They'll try to, whatever store has higher volume of people, I guess they'll try to keep that one stocked up. Um, so and it does make sense because up there in Northeast San Antonio, there is a little, the population is a little bit more dense. There's a lot more people, and also, I'm not saying this is, I'm not saying that this is fact, but uh, the the demographics, right, is a lot. It's a lot. People make a lot more money up there. There's a lot more people, and they make a lot more money up there. So that might be a reason why some of those stores up there are better stocked. Um, Now down here, uh, in some of the inner city, a lot of people receive benefits, and they just, there's so much money in those SNAP benefits, right? That too much money for very limited inventory. So um, it's too many people got available money, right, in food stamps or SNAP benefits, and the inventory is already short, right? So I think that might be a reason also. Um, Take your pick. So guys, there's a lot going on, and if people by now, if they don't see what's happening, um, it's gonna be too late for them when they finally decide to start moving and um, trying to buy up what they need. It's gonna be too late. I cannot see um, there being a grocery run, where they empty out a store. But at the same time, if something like that were to happen, now is the time. It's looking like it can. It's looking very possible. So just keep stocking up, guys. Like I said, we got things that are going on outside of our country, especially out there in Europe, um, that is gonna affect. If war kicks out, it's gonna affect us. Another thing, guys, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. Another thing is at the border of the United States and Mexico. There is so many people, I couldn't believe. I mean, I guess it has been ongoing. We're in the middle of an invasion, a full scale invasion. I don't know. I keep hearing, there's state law that is, you know, enforcing immigration laws and at the border, but then I also hear that, Joe Biden has, I don't know. There's so much. There's this law and there's this law. Yes, they can come in. No, they can't come in. Yes, there's being vaccinated. No, they're not being vaccinated. Uh, and that just tells me that, excuse me, that just tells me that we're being gaslit. This is a good example of gaslighting. So much going on. Same thing going on in Great Britain, where Boris Johnson just did away with the mandates and everything to do with the health crisis. I believe in March is when everything stops and people can go basically back to normal. Uh, I take everything with a grain of salt, guys, when it comes to the authorities. I don't believe anything they say, and especially in these days, excuse me, especially in these days, um, I always see an ulterior motive. Uh, they're just gaslighting us and they're mocking us. They'll ease up on mandates and things like that, and then the next they'll hit us again. It's back and forth. So those are one of the things I believe is part of the psychological war that is going on. Another thing, guys, that I started hearing maybe in the past 2 weeks, I started hearing this term. Uh, how do they say it? Uh, it's a new term going on. Something psychopathic, or how do you say it? I know you've heard it. I just can't remember it right now. But this term, guys, just popped up pretty suddenly. I mean, I heard about it maybe like within the month, right? Somewhere around there, I started hearing this term, and I'm like, well, we've been talking about this. I know Prepper now likes to talk about it. I've talked about this since the very beginning when I started making videos. How we are under a psychological war, and people uh, are basically they're um, they've been brainwashed, and so everybody's in everybody's been affected by this brainwashing, and because of the psychological war that's being waged on us. And you ask, we wonder, like, well, why can't people wake up? Why can't we wake them up? Even though we give them facts, we give them logic, um, we give them evidence that is right in front of our face, and they don't want to hear it. They like living in their little bubble. They're how do you say, it's an inconvenient truth. They know that if they accept what's going on, they either have to, they have to, if they acknowledge what's going on,